All right, guys, so we're here at Blanks by 13. We're with the owner, Mr. 13 himself. His face is going to be blurred out because, you know, he's mysterious. He's too rich to be on camera right now.
What's up?
I think one of the things that I like about the brand is that it's made in USA. And you know me, I'm a yellow guy. I got a rep for my yellow people, but I'm not opposed to learning about made in USA. So today we're gonna break down how these blanks are made here. I'm gonna let Mr. 13 start off. What is this and how does the process start?
So this is the fabric. We only use one fabric and we use 3 different colors: charcoal, black, and white. So the sweatpants, the hoodies, the shorts are all gonna be the same feel, but different colors. We get the fabric in from our local supplier. Everything's milled in California.
Where do you get it? It's out here? You can buy these like rolls out here?
Yeah, you could buy them here.
How much?
You gotta buy bulk. You gotta be doing big business, making big money.
That's why he ain't on camera. He's doing big business, y'all. Big business, standing on business. How much is like one of these right here?
There's 30 yards. You can make 15 hoodies out of this.
How much is one roll though?
Around $200 probably.
One roll is 200 bucks?
I don't know the math. I'm not a genius at math. You know?
Bro, your face is already blurred. You can give them the real game. They're not gonna come and do this. So this is
do the math. 30 yards. It's around $6 to $7 a yard, and then
30 yards, 6.
And then so two yards make a hoodie.
All right, 30 yards, 6 to 7. So 30 times, let's just say 30 times 7. It's around 200 bucks. 200 bucks a roll. So this is like damn near like 10 racks. 10 racks of fabric.
100 racks.
100 racks. I mean, if you could count all the pallets over here, it's 100 racks. That's crazy. So where does it go from here? So you get these rolls, you pick these up, they get shipped here, and then what happens?
Should we take the roll? Let's see if we can carry it and take it.
Bro, 200 bucks. This guy got me working in this interview. Okay, so we had Joaquin help us penetrate the fabric. What happens next?
Well, first we check the weight and we check the shrinkage and make sure we're getting the right shrinkage from the supplier and we're not getting scammed.
Before the roll even gets here, Mr. 13 himself is gonna take it to the laboratory and he's gonna, you know, the GSM, you gotta measure the work. He checks the shrinkage and micro is good for shrinkage. So what is like the normal shrinkage like allowance?
Usually it's like 5%, but then we send it out for a wash again and it goes down to like 1%.
Oh, wow. And then what are we doing now? We penetrated the fabric and what is this?
Now we're rolling it out, but I don't know if we penetrated it correctly because it's not rolling. He's gonna roll it from there maybe.
And then once it's rolled out like this, what's the next process?
And you're gonna roll it out back and forth. You're gonna get a thick stack, very good penetration, and you're gonna cut it out into the pieces. You cut out the sleeves, you cut out the hood, and then it all gets bundled up and goes to the sewing station where they sew up the finished unit.
So again, they roll it back and forth kind of like a sandwich. They have different layers. How thick is the sandwich when it's done rolling?
You can see it right there, right there.
Oh, so that's all one. Like that's all, like that's how thick it gets.
Yeah, and then you have the sleeves. See the ones on top are thinner. Those are pants probably, and then that's the legs.
Oh wow. Let's look at the patterns. Once they roll it out into the sandwich, it comes to like this right here, and this is what they call a pattern, correct?
Yeah.
It would be like a sleeve, or it would be the cutout of the pocket, or a cutout of the front part, right?
Correct.
And then they lay it on, and they lay on the pattern, and then they have another machine that cuts everything so that like all of these are panels to the garments. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay, and then where does it go from here? Once they have it, they cut it all out, they have all the pieces. What's the next step?
And we cart it over here.
Oh, so this is after it's sandwiched out, the pattern's here, it's all cut up, it gets onto this massive roller, and then this comes over here?
Yeah, and then there's the master sewer here, who he checks, makes sure everyone's doing their jobs. People do only sleeves, only pockets. He's gonna coordinate with everyone, make sure everyone's...
So one guy is doing only sleeves, and then once he finishes the sleeves, it goes to the next guy who's doing the other sleeve, and then it goes to the next guy who's doing the ribbing. It's like an assembly line.
Assembly line, correct. Everyone's a master at their work.
In a day, how many do you think they're sewing in a day?
How many they're sewing? We're sewing somewhere in the thousands a day.
Thousands a day. Wow, these guys are really like master sewers. So again, this is the panels starting to come together. As you can see right here, wow, this is actually very interesting. So you guys see, this is kind of the hoodie. This is where the hole would go for the hood, right? This is the front, this is the back. These are the 2 sleeves. And then I guess once he does this job, it'll go to the next person who will sew the sleeves together. And then once they do that job, it'll go to the last person who'll sew the bottom of the ribbing together. So it's kind of like a 1, 2, 3, 4 like assembly line, which is really interesting.
Get the sign.
Blanks, all made in USA.
This is not another factory, this is our factory.
Not another factory. That should be the branding, not another factory. See, again, when we were over there, it didn't have the hood. So now it got to this point in the line where the hood is sewn on, the sleeves are sewn on, so it's starting to be a little bit more of a full garment. I think this is the finished garment, right?
Correct, it looks good.
And then what does she do? She's doing the quality control and folding?
Yes, then those get bundled up and go to the wash house. So we do actually an extra step, extra finishes that a lot of blanks company don't do to get this puffy feeling on the shoulder and a nice soft feel and just an extra shrinkage just to make
So
sure
you guys also pre-wash all of the garments?
Pre-wash the fabric, and then once it's done being sewn, we do another wash
So
too.
you wash it twice?
Twice, yeah.
Wow. So I think the one thing you guys don't understand about manufacturing overseas is that when you're overseas, a lot of those steps where it's like wash the fabric and wash it again, those steps are probably getting skipped because I know I love my people, but my people, they always try to cut corners for more margin. So like, it happens, it's life. It's sometimes you stand in on business, sometimes you're not. But here, they stand in on business because when you get your hoodie, it ain't gonna shrink. What's the next step after this? Wash all this, and so these are all going to the wash house?
Yes, correct. However, sometimes people want PFD white hoodies so they could dye it, and when they dye it, it shrinks again. So we won't shrink it in the wash house, otherwise it will shrink too much. So sometimes they'll go directly to the finishing, and we'll QC check it and give it to them.
What is PFD?
Prepared for dye. That means you could dye the product any color you want at your own dye house. We don't do the dyeing, and but when you do that, it'll shrink again no matter how much it's pre-shrunk. It'll always shrink.
Okay. And what is the finishing part? Can you show us what finishing is?
Right here, as you can see, we're checking even inside the pockets for any loose thread.
So once it gets to that, you're saying this is the finishing section?
Yeah.
What is finishing?
Finishing entails checking for loose thread, cutting it out, we're ironing it, and then we're putting it in plastic bags with the size sticker on it, and then putting it in the fulfillment center.
So what process is she in right now? She's cutting all the loose threads?
Yep, correct.
And then you guys even finished the insides of the hoodie too?
Correct.
That's crazy. So again, back to the made in America and made in Korea or made in Asia reference points is that probably if you're making stuff in Asia, they probably might not, I mean, they're gonna finish the outside of the garment, but I don't know if anybody is finishing the inside of the garment, and you're definitely not gonna have QC control, whereas if you're making in America, you got Mr. 13 himself overlooking the whole operation, making sure that she ain't on her phone and she's actually doing the right things. And this is after finishing, this is the last step or second to last step?
Second to last step.
And what is this?
We iron it, get out all the wrinkles. You know, it's barely even wrinkly because it's so plushy, but we'll still get it out. When you open that package, you're not gonna get a wrinkle on your hoodie too, like every other brand.
Oh shit. Let's have a Blanks by 13 steam room going on. All right, and then after you get from here, where do we go? So it gets finished, it gets ironed.
Fold it up in a plastic bag and you heat seal it.
You always gotta seal the work, right?
Seal the work, yeah, tag it correctly.
Gotta seal the work. What's this right here? This is the fulfillment room? What is all this?
This is the fulfillment center. When everything's done and packed, we put them into bins, we separate them by name, and we print out all the labels and we pick and pack.
Where'd you guys get these from? From Uline?
Yes, correct. We got them from
Shout out Uline. Please sponsor one of our videos. I love Uline.
They overcharged us.
They do be waxing, but it came next day, right?
Yes, correct.
So this is where all the orders get fulfilled out of. These are all the smalls, the mediums, all the different sizes. And how fast is the shipping out here?
We ship within a few business days. We were on a big back order. Some people were taking 3 months to get it, but we cleared that up and we're fast shipping. Like people even put bulk orders and got it the same week.
Love that. Do you have a photo of yourself flexing with the poly mailers?
Nope, I don't.
Mr. 13
It
himself.
wouldn't fit in one photo.
Oh, y'all hear that? Y'all gotta get your game up. It can't fit in one photo, you know what I'm saying? It's too big. It's got too much weight, too much work. Now that we've seen the operations, we've seen everything, right? How long you been in the business for?
Maybe around 5 years I started. 13 Studios was the first brand. And then we wanted to build a company that could help other people start brands rather than just sell like a streetwear company. There was always people hitting us up for advice. And how could I do that in the masses without speaking to one person? We could just build a brand. I mean, the volume discount is meant to grow your brand. It starts high. The more you order, we want you to get motivated to get to that low price point. Always want to deliver you the same quality that we start our brand with, that we know that works, because that hoodie worked and blew up the brand. So we're gonna give you something even better than that.
Why did you make the transition from like doing a brand to like selling blanks and like catering to like that community?
We didn't transition. I mean, we're still doing both. 13 Studios is killing it, Blanks is killing it. We just the bigger the brand, we want to help more people get our product out. A lot of people couldn't afford the $200 13 Studios hoodie that sells out in a few minutes. You know, we want to make something more accessible to everyone at a cheaper price, but you can't get that 13 Studios logo.
Oh, love that. Anything else you want to say to the people?
Everyone, I hope you could just start your brand. Everyone get your foot in the door no matter what it is. Doesn't have to be my blank. Start with t-shirt. Just do something. Like, it's always going to transition to something else. It could be marketing. I've seen my whole marketing team started with a brand. Everyone I work with started with a brand. Doesn't mean you're going to end with a brand, but it means you're going to end in a good place. Just start anything.
You know, we stay giving y'all free game.